the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on this Friday, heading into the weekend. Glad that you join us each and every day, whenever it is and wherever it is that you're able to join us, whether it's at your home, your office, in your car, in Oxford, Mississippi, like Faith this morning, wherever it is. We're glad that you join us and make Auburn Blitz part of your Auburn sports intake throughout the week. Faith, good to see you as always. We got a ton to talk about here on a Friday, but it's always fun on a Friday around here at Auburn Blitz.
Absolutely. I'm excited. It's a long day for me here in Oxford, Mississippi. So,
well, you had a long day yesterday because it's not a simple drive to get over there from Auburn, but takes quite a bit of about a half, just consumes about half your day.
It does, but
it's got graduation over there today. So
congratulations to everybody that's graduating. I know Auburn has graduation today too.
That's right. A lot of stuff going on
in this weekend.
Yeah, spring is so busy as we get started each and every day with our partners.
Yeah, from Green, for air that's cool and clean, call on Green. They are the carrier dealers for the state of Alabama. Proud supporters of Auburn athletics and proud supporters of the Auburn Blitz podcast. Green is some of our favorite people, and they're just literally the best. So you really want to use somebody that you trust and somebody that's going to, take care of you and with something as important as the air conditioning for your home. So carrier units are the best. We finally are actually looking out for them now.
Well, and
Brett and I text each other all the time, and we're like, "Hey,
you think anybody else is texting each other about, hey, I just saw a carrier unit at the place that I'm at?" I mean,
probably not.
It's ingrained in our brain now. So make sure it is in yours. You'll be glad that you called on them. They'll save you thousands over time with your power bill with a new installation. All right, Scout Program Management, full construction management firm. Handling everything from start to finish, literally from the planning stage to the finished product. They're going to hold the contractors accountable, make sure everything's done correctly. Call on Scout Program Management for your next construction project. They'll take care of you. And
Bunkers in downtown Auburn, 50 parking spaces in the parking garage behind Bunkers. Where are you going to find 50 parking spots in downtown Auburn reserved for a restaurant? Nowhere. So Bunkers has more than just golf simulator or on the golf simulator bays. They've got 27 different sports, all the way from they've got tennis, they've got lacrosse, football, volleyball. I don't even think I could list 27 different sports. Cricket, probably.
Cricket, okay.
Whatever's up your alley over there. Go over Bunkers. Bowling.
Since you said alley, there you go. How about that?
That was a good one.
So we're all.
Anyway, go over to Bunkers, get yourself some of the steak sliders, and I don't know, make me jealous.
I swear, I think you could eat that every day.
Oh, I'd be so happy with it too.
I mean, just hey, what are you eating for lunch today? Steak sliders. What are you eating for dinner tonight? Steak sliders. Oh,
if I could eat anything every single day, would be steak, pepper tree steaks also.
Yeah. Yeah, and some Lake Martin pizza thrown in there every once in a while too. I mean, we've just got all types.
So good.
Some JR's chicken fingers and wing. I mean, the places that we have, we're blessed on that for sure. All right, let's talk Auburn here on a Friday. Get your comments going. I mean, we obviously have to start with baseball. My God, I knew South Carolina, and again, Auburn hadn't won this series. You can't. As Coach Thompson said, can't carry 24 runs into tomorrow with you. And so they got a doubleheader today, by the way, for all of you that may not have caught that. They will have two today with the concern with weather coming in on Saturday. Although I looked, it says like 40% today and 40% tomorrow. So, but the 40% tomorrow must be a little bit more troubling for them. than it is today. But anyway, going to go ahead and move up and play 2 today. The first one will be at 1 o'clock. The second game will follow 45 minutes after whatever the conclusion is of that one. Like last night, it only went 7 innings, but it lasted forever because Auburn just kept hitting the baseball. 24-2. All right, so we gave up a safety, and we scored 3 touchdowns and a field goal last night to beat South Carolina. So it's a good number.
That's literally what Reese and I were saying yesterday. We were like, this is like a football score.
I mean, it was, and believe it or not, South Carolina had a 1-0 lead. That didn't last very long. But 5 Auburn players with multiple hits. The 24 runs were tied for the 3rd most in SEC game program history. Yeah. And so since the most runs Auburn scored in a game, in an SEC game since 1965. So Auburn with a dominating performance. Chris Rembert continues to be extremely hot. Ike Irish got his 200th career hit, and it was a home run. So that was pretty cool. But you got guys.
100th and 200th hit were both home runs.
How about that? That's pretty
special.
That is special, and Ike's a special player. He's going to be missed around here when he's gone. He's been a tremendous player for Auburn. But Auburn was up 15-1 after 4 innings, and then just continue to hit the baseball. And you look up, and man, just a complete game all the way around. Cam Tilley started, so Sam Dutton will start tonight, or this afternoon rather. So you got really your ace going here in game 2. So you really feel good about going ahead and getting that second win if everything kind of stays on track. But it's like Coach Thompson said, it's the SEC. Whatever happens in the first game, you got to put it behind you, win or lose. They don't want to slip up and lose the series after what a dominating performance they put out last night. But, Chase Fralick and Chris Rembert, I think he's hit 4 home runs in the last 6 games. So so he's got 8 on the season, but I think he's hit 4 in the last 6. He's red hot right now. Auburn's got a lot of guys that are really hitting the ball. Cooper McMurray last night hit another home run. I mean, like everybody got in the mix last night.
I was watching, and we were watching at bingo, and so there was a bunch of people there, and they kept like getting in front of the TV. And when I was like trying to move, like to look, they would look at me and be like, look at the score. And I'd be like, okay, get out of my way. Like, I'm trying to watch. You see that the score is just running up.
Right.
The way that they're hitting. And then, I mean, it was just a fun game to watch. It's fun to win.
Yeah, it was kind of slow pitch softballish. If South Carolina would have done their part and scored some runs, it felt like you were playing a slow pitch softball game. Romulus said Benjamin Russell's defensive line looking tough. Yeah, I mean, I was at practice again yesterday, and I know most people know that, I'm the play-by-play guy, so I'm going to be at spring practice. There's also a lot of people at spring practice this year at Benjamin Russell. More coaches there from other colleges yesterday, more coaches the day before. I mean, it's been a crazy lineup of major college coaches and players being up at practice. Caleb Spivey and Charzell, I mean, this defensive line looks maybe as good as I've ever seen one at this high school. A lot of people going to be, some other guys got offered yesterday from some other colleges. I'll talk some more about that. Hey, I appreciate you, Romulus. Look, we all enjoy doing what we're doing. We love Auburn Blitz. Caught up with Sedarian yesterday again. Had a quick interview with him. Faith, let the world know that we broke that. And he laughed about it. And he's like, yeah, ain't no doubt, back in March when you interviewed him. So, just glad to do it. We're going to continue to report from there. And then you and I are going to talk about where we're going to be next week. So we're going to be hitting up a couple more top prospects. We'll be on the road again next week. So everybody hold on. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. So yeah, a lot to discuss. But closing out baseball, this will finish up Auburn's home SEC series today, and then they have one series left with Ole Miss, where you are.
I'm getting the heck out of
I
here.
was going to say, and then they're going to come over there and take your place.
Yeah.
So, y'all
If
just
I'm
pass
walking-
each other.
If
Just
I'm
pass
walking
each
around
other.
in this Auburn shirt, I'm gonna get eaten alive.
It's okay. They need a lot of Auburn in their life over there in Oxford. So, but again, Auburn really coming down the stretch here has played dominant baseball, and they've improved to 34-15 on the season, 14-11 in SEC play. And it's like you and I talked before the series started. If they can get a sweep here, get to 16-11, they'll be in the top 5, 6 in the conference heading into that final series with Ole Miss. And you got to feel pretty good. We went through, and I'll go back through again here in just a minute, the projected regional host for baseball. But it feels like if Auburn will do what they need to do this weekend and just go get one in Oxford, which I think they can beat Ole Miss straight up. I mean, these two teams are equal, I believe. And so if they play the way they're
I
playing.
heard yesterday.
Well, I think if Auburn plays the way they continue to play, they'll be fine. So predicted regional host, Auburn is one. Here's the SEC predicted regional host: Auburn, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Still, even though they've kind of plummeted the last 3 or 4 weeks. LSU, Arkansas, and Texas. Now, there's a boatload of teams going to regionals, but those were the projected hosts going into this week in the field of 64. So if Auburn can get that host, that would be great. We know golf is hosting starting Monday, so everybody put that on their calendar if you've got time. I know, Coach Kleiner really stressed to us that they really like people to come out and support. And Jason was on with us earlier in the week and said, hey, they like it. If you've never been to a golf match before, it's a different deal. So go out and experience it. Don't take things for granted. It's not like it's just a given that you get to host a regional every year. I mean, Auburn's had a really good golf team the last several years. Been fortunate to host several regionals, but you never know when you're going to go on a dry spell, and you hope you don't with the way this team is and the way this program is. But if you've never been and you got some time, go out to AU Club and go watch that. It's fun. It's a great opportunity.
Jason said, "Get your walking in.
You get your steps in.
Get those steps in.
What are you supposed to
along.
get? About 10,000 steps a day? Isn't that what you're supposed to get?
Yeah.
Supposed to log 10,000 steps. So make sure you go get you some 10,000 steps over at AU Club. Hey, go
Do you
get
get
20,000
steps a day?
Now, you know me. I mean, I probably get about 25,000 steps in everywhere I go. I can't believe I have tread or even soles on the bottom of my shoes. I think I probably had 10,000 steps at practice alone yesterday, up and down the field.
I bet you probably have 5 by now.
No doubt. I think I'll wake up with 5 already in my back pocket. Good morning to you, War Eagle PJ. Appreciate all of you that tune us in each and every day. All right. You sent something over to me yesterday, and I thought it was very interesting. I had actually several people send something over to me yesterday about this, and it's just wild that we continue to talk about NIL and people, the frustration around it. And I sent you something with Outkick and kind of talking about what Texas has spent on their roster and just the road that we're going down. And it's not sustainable. And Charles Barkley, who, is one of the most notable Auburn athletes ever, along with Bo Jackson, Cam Newton, Frank Thomas, we keep going. But Charles Barkley probably is in the public eye more than any of them with his role with his role on the NBA, TNT, and all that stuff. But he pretty much came out, said he was on an interview, and he said, I'm not wasting my money on NIL. I love Auburn, but I'm not throwing money to a bunch of kids. And he said, I don't know what my return on investment is. And he said, if the return on investment is winning a national championship, he said there ain't very many people getting an ROI on that because only one team's going to walk away with the trophy. So
they're only going to be at your college for about a year.
There's a chance of that, yeah. I mean, they could be gone. And he said, we got guys $6 to $8 million in the basketball side. I mean, we just heard, the interview on Outkick where they're talking about Texas. What did they say? 20 to 30 million or 30 to 40 million on a roster. Like, what's going to happen though? Because President Trump, we talked about this earlier in the week, is putting together a committee or a commission to investigate in the NCAA or just college sports in general. And there is going to be a stopping point eventually with all this because if you listen to that interview, it's like they were talking about when they tore the wall down in Germany and you went from a communist society to a wide open free capitalist society. It was like you could sell a kidney, you could sell a nuclear warhead, you could sell everything. Everything was for sale. There were no limitations, just go sell whatever you want to sell. But, then you walk that back because you got to have some regulations. You can't just do everything. And that's what's going to happen here. We talked about this the other day, the three of us, me, you, and Randy. I said, it's coming. At some point in time, we're going to hit a wall. They're going to walk some of this back. There's going to be some regulation. People are going to be pissed because they're used to this wide open Wild West format, and it's going to be pain for a little while, but they have got to reel this in. And I don't know if they is.
It's getting harder to watch. It's getting harder to follow. There's got to be something that gets done.
Well, I think what you just said about it being harder to watch, you and I still have a passion, obviously. And we love when we're at the complex or when we're at a game. I mean, we're in the moment. We're into it. It's kind of like it's always been. But then when the final buzzer sounds or, the game is over, then we go right back to talking about all this stuff. And it's not about the competition on the court or on the field. It's about, all right, are we going to keep this guy? How long is he going to be here? And what's it going to take to keep him? And, I mean, we look at our basketball team right now. And this is not just Auburn. This is everybody. I mean, Tahad, I feel really good about coming back. Just the indications and the things that we're hearing and the things that we're seeing about. Now, again, he could have something happen and he could really show out and, somebody say, look, we're taking you in the first round and all that could wash away. But I think right now, if we were betting, if me and you were betting, we'd say he'd be back. And so, but he is that's it. Off last year's team coming back. So you're having, this is not the day and age, Faith, where we grew up and there was a guy on the team and you bought their jersey and they were there 3-4 years and you got a chance to kind of build a relationship and you grew up pulling like me with Lawyer Tillman or Lionel James, as you see that Lionel James jersey in the back there behind me. That was, I wore that because Lionel James was there forever. Now it's one and done everywhere and people are hopping around. And so you don't ever really get a chance to attach yourself to a guy. And that's unfortunate because that was cool as a kid growing up.
Sorry, I'm reading Jim's comment.
Yeah, we'll get to some of those here in just a minute, and we'll go through them for everybody. But I mean, to me, I think there's a lot of good things for players now, but then there's also a lot of things that people are missing out on. That and you can say we're nostalgic and all this kind of stuff, but college football was special because of the history and the pageantry and the tradition that go with all of these schools. All these schools have all these unique traditions, and none of that really seems to matter anymore. other than to the
Literally, I
fans.
was telling you about how when we were playing the basketball Iron Bowl, I was like, none of these boys know the rivalry behind any of this. They just know that it's two in-state schools. Like they obviously, none of them grew up watching Auburn. None of them really care.
I mean,
And for us, it's like
well, to me, that's what separated college athletics from pro. I mean, it's not that we're opposed to players getting paid. We're not opposed to that at all. I definitely think they ought to be compensated, because I used to remember the stories too about guys. Yeah, they got a scholarship. They came in, and of course they had food and they had meal plans and all that kind of stuff, but they were pretty much trapped in their dorm because they could not go have a job. The NCAA wouldn't allow them to have a job, so they couldn't go earn extra money. So really all they had was what the university gave them. And and some of these guys come from not much, so they move away from home and they're stuck there. So I'm all for them getting some opportunities, but man, we have just swung the pendulum so far to the other side.
When you get some sort of income, some sort of money, these guys are getting millions of dollars.
Yeah, this is not just some money. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, $1 million would change my life right now. But imagine you're 17.
Well, and imagine, and we keep bringing this up too, the decisions we all made when we were teenagers weren't probably the best decisions. And look, you're relying on the people around you to help you kind of manage what you're doing, but everybody doesn't have good people around them. I mean, let's just be honest about it.
Is over here buying, either a car that's worth half of his 1 year, well, you're probably going to want to do that too, because
you're trying to keep up with everybody around you. So yeah, I mean, the life lessons too, and I hate to keep just pounding this point, but I bring this up, and you bring this up because of Charles Barkley, and he's like, look, I will support Auburn. I'm giving Auburn free pub when I'm on the air. I mean, I'm building them up, giving them free marketing, but I'm not giving millions of dollars to a guy that may be there for 9 months. And I don't blame them. And look, there's a lot of people that, boosters, whatever, that you and I've talked to personally that have told us to our face, hey, look, I'm about tapped out, because we give a lot and it just never is enough, and the ask never stops. And so
nobody's ever content with what they're getting.
Well, because you can't
because somebody else is always, I don't want to say somebody else is always offering more, because we've seen in the past month that some people are not always going to give you what you want or more. But there's always other people getting more. There's no one's ever content with what they're getting.
Right. Glenn said Connecticut won a basketball championship, didn't have food for the players afterwards. Michael said, growing up, I could tell you the name and number of almost every Auburn starter. I could too. I can still run down rosters from 1988, 89, because even though I was a young kid, I was a little kid, you could still remember a lot of that stuff. And now, I have to look down, and we cover this every day, Faith. You and I look at Auburn's roster every day, and then we look at each other at a practice and go, who's 27? Now, who is that? Now, what is this? I mean, because it just changes so much.
It changes so much, and it's just it really does suck knowing, the feeling of, especially this past portal when we were it was Perry Thompson leaving, there's so many people that have so much talent, but so many people that don't want to wait until it's their turn, until they're up next. And that's just never a good feeling of security.
It's not. No, we could spend hours on this, literally.
I've done so many projects on it, and I've done, when I was in school, I did so many research projects where I had to literally go and talk to all these different athletes about it.
You know what everybody's wanting? everybody is just a solution. Like somebody to step up and go, all right, we're going to put in a mandate where when we make a decision, you can't just go to the court and sue and win. Like, I'm not a big fan of the NCAA. You know that. I don't think you are either. I'm speaking for you. They've made a lot of bad decisions that have gotten to this point where people don't respect them. But now that they are trying to police some of this stuff, every time they do it, they just get taken to court and they lose. And so, you know what? They've just washed their hands of it and they've been rendered powerless. And so there's nobody to control this. So, like it or not, President Trump or not, whoever, the committee, legislative, senators, whatever, are going to have to create some laws. And that's going to have to go to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court's going to have to back that up where they go, okay, this is it. And if you don't like it, then you ain't got to play. If you don't like the format and the way we've aligned college sports after they get through all this, you have the choice to not play. But if you want to play college athletics, this is what you're going to have to do. And it's going to happen. Like all these people getting all this unbelievable money, it's going to come to a stop at some point. Not saying that they're not going to get paid, but they're probably not going to get paid the crazy numbers that they're getting paid right now. And it's going to have to be policed a lot better than it is. So I'm sick of talking about it. And we're going to talk. We got a lot of comments coming in. We're going to get to those. But we want to hit some of our partners here first, Faith and Sure Shot in Alex City.
Sure Shot right up Highway 280. Drove past them yesterday, was thinking about them. They're there for all your firearm apparel and hunting needs. They sell and trade new and used firearms. Scott is the best. He's so informative whenever it comes to anything. Like I said, my dad just bought a safe from there. And Scott's awesome. He's holding on to it for a little bit until their house is done being built. My mom and I are going to go over there and do the handgun training course together. So I'm really excited about that.
Sharpshooter, Faith, and Dawn. Sharpshooters. Better watch out. I mean,
hey, you better not mess with us.
Better not mess with them. And Oliver Ross.
Your party from 20 people or your party of 20,000 people, Oliver Ross is certified and licensed bartenders that are going to be able to let you focus on your entertaining job of the night instead of your entertaining and bartending jobs for the night. Oliver Ross is going to just go ahead and have you covered. So stick with the professionals.
No doubt about it. Mark and his staff, go check them out on Instagram and Facebook, man. The drink recipes that they throw out there for everybody. So if you're just at home on the weekend and you got a few people coming over and friends and you want to try something different, they got a bunch of cool stuff out there that you can mix up and try. So, but again, for your next function, party, whatever, like Faye said, call on Oliver Ross. All right, lots of comments here, everybody. Lots of comments. Warrior, go to you, Jonathan. Bama Willie said, just accept it, move on. Agents and players don't want a solution. Wild West means more money. Here's the bottom line. I think you're right, because when you talk about a lawyer, and in one of the articles that we read yesterday, in that article that came out about President Trump and, starting a commission to study college athletics, the one guy that fired back was an attorney for players saying, oh, this is, and he was, taking shots at Nick Saban about, he took advantage of the system for years and blah, blah, blah. And I see that point too. But hey, look, man, I just gave you a historical example. When they tore the wall down in Germany, you went from, you glad people were free, but you can't have a level of unregulated freedom. All right. With freedom, there has to be laws and regulations. You can't just go out here and say, I'm going to go across into that guy's property. He's got a bunch of cows over there. I'm just going to take them because it's a free country, right? All right. So I'm just going to go over there because I don't care that there's a fence up. I'm just going to go over there and take what I want. You got to have laws. You got to have some things that people can abide by. Now, is it ever going to be perfectly clean? No. I mean, because the reason we've kind of arrived to this point is because there was so much stuff going on under the table and everybody complained about it so much. They were like, well, I wish they'd just get a stop on that and just put it out in the open where everybody can see it. Well, now it's out in the open with no regulation. So it's better to be out in the open and know what's going on, but you got to be able to police it a little bit. So again, I don't know how far or close we are to coming up with a solution for that. So again, continue to get your comments in. Glenn said he's waiting for a coach to say he got fired because his whole team hit the portal. Again, holding guys accountable. We want to win, right? But that keeping players is a key element to all this. Can't have your cake and eat it too. All right. Let's move on. This week coming up for us, you and I will be on the road again, and we'll be hitting up another key top 10 recruit here in the state of Alabama over at Booker T. Washington High School, just right up the road. Marquez Daniel, another big target, Faith, another big-time receiver, 6'5", 200 pounds, and his teammate, Dylan Purder, who is right there on the cusp now of moving into the top 10 and could easily slide up into that top 10 before all said and done, maybe with a reevaluation and all. There's a lot of that goes on multiple times, especially in the off season. But you and I will be catching up. Well, you will be. I'll just be filming the thing. I'll be the director. You'll be talking to Marquez and Dylan about, their senior year and what their plans are moving forward. It is nobody's committed to anybody right now. Dylan Purder is actually, I think he is committed to LSU, but he's still got an open recruitment. And so Marquez Daniel right now, it looks like maybe between Auburn and Florida. So I know you'll be glad to talk with them and kind of catch up with them. We'll kind of find out some more information.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm having a lot of fun with all my interviews. He 6'5" guy, another big wide receiver. He's, from what I've seen, I've kind of just been watching Ben Russell recently, but from what I've seen from him, he looks like a stud athlete.
Yeah. These are his last 2 years. 2023, 33 receptions, 640 yards, 9 touchdowns. This past year, 38 receptions, 757 yards, and 12 touchdowns. So, man, I'm telling you, just production's gone up each year. Started as a freshman in 22, only had 11 catches, but so his career numbers, 1,579 yards and 26 touchdowns. He is poised to have a massive year this year. So excited about catching up with him and Dylan. Dylan on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll talk to both of them. Both of them will end up somewhere in the SEC. Maybe both end up at Auburn. We'll see how it all plays out. But you and I will be headed over this week to talk to them, knocking these guys out, the top 10 recruits here in the state of Alabama, according to 24/7, Sadarian Morgan. And tomorrow, or actually today, at 2:00, will be Tank Jones coming out.
Yes.
So number 2.
I'm excited for that one to come out too. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Tank was really, really awesome. I'm really excited to post the video and, hear what everybody has to say because, again, he's from Mobile. So I feel like, not that we haven't heard a lot from him at Auburn, but, we just haven't heard as much, I think. So I'm really excited to kind of push this out and give everybody.
Hey, look, go check these interviews out again. We're hitting the road hard, and again, it's easy for me to catch up with Sadarian, but gave an update yesterday since a lot of us hit with the graphic that was posted, although we threw that out there in March, and Faith did a good job of breaking that story on his commitment date. And he gave an explanation yesterday to me why he chose that date, which we all thought was really, really cool.
Sweet.
So go check that interview out. Again, it's
I
about
want to follow our Instagram.
And a lot of people have in the last 48 hours. I mean, that thing rocketed up. And go ahead and spread the word. Justin, my executive producing, I learned from you.
And he's a great one.
I learned from you, Justin. So I owe all my executive production skills to you. So I appreciate everything that you've done working with a novice producer like me. So I want to add another guy to the mix. I think is going to end up getting some SEC offers and may get an Auburn offer before all said and done. Is another Benjamin Russell player that played at Montgomery Catholic yet last year. BJ Bedgood. He had 1,500 plus yards receiving last year for Montgomery Catholic. So it's not like this guy's he's flying under the radar. He's already got offers, but I think he's got offer from Purdue, Memphis. But all of these coaches are really high on BJ Bedgood, and rightfully so. When you see him, he's probably 6 foot, very well put together, probably 185 pounds, maybe just a little bit taller than that, but extremely fast, great hands, great footwork. He's what you want. He's a prototypical slot receiver. And with all the coaches have been Russell all the time, I think it's just a matter of time before you're going to see some SEC offers for BJ Bedgood. But when you got 14,
he's a 27.
Yeah, he's a 27 as well. So you got him and Sedarian lining up together. When you combine, there's nearly 3,000 yards in receptions between those two guys from last year. They'll all be on the field at the same time. And then you got a phenomenal young quarterback in the class of 28 that is only going to continue to go up. And that is Kingston Preyer. And if you've been seeing any of my videos from practice, I have to pinch myself every time. And it's like I told Coach Johnson yesterday, I cannot believe this guy is really still a freshman. Now, he's about to be a sophomore. He's going into his sophomore year, but he won a state title as a freshman, and he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in that 28 class, everybody. You better know what's coming with this guy. I mean, he's already 6'3", 6'4", probably 195 pounds, and has outstanding footwork, got the arm to make every throw, just very talented. So, there's a lot of reason for people to be on the practice hill at Benjamin Russell right now. And then I didn't even talk about Caleb Spivey. And then another kid that I think is going to start turning some heads is Charzell Davis. Charzell is a tremendous defensive lineman. So you'll see a lot more of that. You and I and Randy will be at the spring game next Friday. So we'll be covering that. So make sure y'all tune us in with that. So again, we'll be giving some live updates and live broadcasts from that. So excited for that part as well. But just said, has Booker T ever had two SEC players on their team? We got Joe Phillips from Booker T right now over there at Auburn. So he was probably, he obviously played with these guys. Jackson does have 3 players in the top 10 here in the state of Alabama. In the top 200 nationally, though. It's crazy the level of talent right now in this state. It's always been that way. It's not like this is some breaking news, but this is and there's a boatload of it right now. Yeah, sorry, I was looking. Yeah, it's crazy, though, just how talented a lot of these guys are and just nationally how good they are. So hopefully, again, we'll get over to Booker T on Tuesday, and then possibly another school on Wednesday. Haven't confirmed that, but going to try to get these knocked out really before. I would love to get it knocked out before the end of June, and have all of those interviews done, and then we can push those out along the way this summer. But and then maybe some other players, not just in the top 10. Maybe some other guys that are rising players that we're going to be able to catch up with. I know that Faith's planning to catch up with the kid from Hattiesburg,
Tristan Keys.
Tristan Keys. He and Sedarian are 1 and 2 based on what recruiting service you look at as far as top receivers in the country. So they were both at Auburn not too long ago together. For Big Cat.
And Deuce have played against each other and with each other, I think, with their 7-on-7.
But I think they've got a pretty good relationship with each other.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to go, even though I know it's not Alabama, I'm going to go head over to Hattiesburg.
Absolutely. Yeah, top receiver there. So we're going to be able to catch up with him. So, all right, some other partners here on the program before we call it quits on this Friday. Old Number One Customs.
Guys, don't DIY it for 2 years. Get it done in 2 weeks with Old Number One Customs. Get your bathroom or your kitchen, whatever your wife wants. Get it done by them because they're going to be able to do it and not make a whole big mess and not make your entire house a disaster for 2 years. Because they're going to be in and out in 2 weeks. So send her on a trip.
You ever been through a renovation project and there's crap everywhere. There's dust. I mean, you feel like you just want to go live in a motel somewhere for however long because everything's out of whack. But they will come in and not only renovate your kitchen and bathroom, they'll do it in 2 weeks.
And they're good people too. While your wife is on her trip that you're sending her on, you might have to go to work too. So
why can't the guy go on the trip too?
Because he should feel bad for making her deal with the kitchen or the bathroom that she's been wanting to change for so long.
I always get the short end of the stick. 334-752-6162 is the number for all you guys out there, like they said, that just quit making your wife mad at you. Just get it done. All right.
Surprised how happy that would make her.
Absolutely. If the wife's happy, everybody's happy.
Plumbing, you know what makes me happy? You guys see how much water I drink. Water.
Just go on a trip with Faith, and you will realize how many stops have to be made and how much water is consumed. But anyway,
I drink a lot of water.
There's good though. That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
And I like purified water. I like filtered water. And guess what? JFA Blue Plumbing is going to be able to install a Home Atlas water duo filter in your house that every single faucet that comes, out in your house that produces water.
At least you didn't say pipe this time.
I know. Or drain. It's all going to be filtered water, though. You don't want to shower with your Brita filter on top of your shower because, come on, who wants to do that? But if you're blonde like me, you don't want your hair to turn pink because of the disgusting hard water. So just go ahead and do it. And their number is so easy, too. Give them a call at 844-JFA-BLUE.
Yeah, and, I'm never going to go in and try to select a case of water again. On the road with you and Maddie because I can't pick the right case of water. It's like, what is that? It's like, that's not what we want. So I'm like,
as long as it's in a Deer Park, I don't care.
As long as it's not Deer Park.
I'm a Deer Park hater.
What is wrong with Deer Park water?
Ew, it tastes disgusting.
Okay.
Yes.
Water's. Yeah, I would say water's water, but it's not.
It's not.
It's really not. When you drink enough bottled water,
when you drink enough water, like
Justin said, you're being sexist, Faith. You're being sexist about the guy not being able to take the trip with the wife.
Stay home and work. Come on.
Well, what? Just like always, right? Y'all go off and do whatever you want to do, and we'll sit here and work ourselves to an early death. But anyway,
thank you. Deer Park is disgusting.
Milky, God. Ugh.
And I always liked their. Oh, boo-hoo. Okay. Like it's strict
Hey,
minerals. I'm sorry.
Hey, how
No,
about can you take some vitamins and some supplements with
I'm
that?
sorry. I didn't know that the water that I shower in that literally has turned my hair pink in my shower. I
Yeah.
didn't know that that was good for you. My bad.
Look, I'm not going to get in a water debate here. Look, here's what I say.
I will. I drink enough of it. Sounds like you
drink
don't drink enough.
drink clean water. So
And if you don't want to call on JFA Blue Plumbing, Rebel Yell, you don't have to. So leave them alone.
that's right.
Leave your water comments away from here. Don't care. Anyway, I hope everybody has the best day ever. I have a long day ahead of me, and it's only 9:00. So
it is only 9:00, and I've got a busy day as well. And again, we thank everybody for their comments. Everybody, we thank everybody for spreading the word about our program each and every day. We're here at 8:00 or somewhere 8ish. We get started.
8:15. It depends.
No, we
on
don't start that late most of the time.
Okay,
It's usually
8:07 is the
8:05,
latest.
8:05, 8:06, somewhere around in there. But Randy and I will be on at lunch today to close things out. We will be back with you. Be back with you on Monday for another episode of the Auburn Blitz podcast. Continue to spread the word. To what? 2:00, Tank Jones interview coming out on YouTube. Make sure you go and look for that. And again, we'll be on the road again next week. A massively busy week next week for us, man. We're all over the place. My head's spinning thinking about all of it. That's a good thing. No rest for the weary.
I'm just trying to get through today.
That's right. One day at a time.
This is a war zone.
One day at a time. One day at a time. Well, have fun. Don't let anything rub off on you over there in Oxford. Never. Try not to touch as much stuff as you can with rebels on it. So wear your Auburn.
I'll have my Auburn stuff on.
Wear your Auburn shirt proudly in Oxford, Mississippi. Okay, as Faye said, have
the best day ever
and a big old
war.